Punchable Face by Colin Jost. So, my colleague Jennifer and I do this monthly podcast like video series called Listening Librarians. If you haven't checked it out yet, check it out. So, in that, we discuss audiobooks on themes that change from month to month. Well, we recently covered memoirs and autobiographies as a theme, and I really wanted to listen to this book, but my copy wasn't ready in time. In fact, ironically, it became available the day we recorded our video. So I obviously didn't have time to listen to the audiobook in time for that, but I have since listened to it, and so now I can talk about it now. So, as I mentioned, I listened to the audiobook. It was available in Libby. But I also grabbed this print book because our author, Colin Jost, kept suggesting that I look at the photos. Like, here is his high school photo. He makes fun of it a lot. So, of course, I had to kind of see what he was talking about. Now, if you don't recognize his name, Colin Jost is best known as being part of the Saturday Night Live crew. He's been a writer with SNL for 15 years, at least as of the time of the book's publication, and he's one of the anchors on Weekend Update. He is also now married to the actress Scarlett Johansson, and early on in the book, he says that, kind of jokingly, that you may only know him as that guy who's standing next to Scarlett Johansson in the paparazzi photos. Anyway, you might be asking, Katie, why are you doing a book review for a book that is 3 years old? And the answer is because it is hilarious and I liked it a lot. Also, as of today, the day I'm creating this video review, the actors and writers strike is still going on. And so we haven't gotten a Saturday Night Live in like a year and a half. So if you missed seeing somebody like Colin Jost and having a good laugh, you can read his book since you can't watch the show he's on. Now, this memoir is not entirely chronological, but it largely is. It starts with Jost describing how he actually didn't learn how to talk until he was 4 years old when his family found him this amazing speech therapist. He discusses, of course, what it's like growing up on Staten Island, his school years, and the copious injuries that happened during those years, attending college at Harvard, studying abroad in Russia, and of course, what it's like to work as an adult and for Saturday Night Live. Now, there is a tremendous amount of humor throughout all of these stories. The audiobook is actually really fantastic, and you can tell that Jost has done stand up before, just because his delivery and cadence is spot on. There is so much humor, in fact, that I had to pause the story about how he pooped himself at a golf course because I was laughing so hard that I was worried my colleagues would think I just kind of lost it. Now, remember, I was listening to this audiobook on headphones, so no one had any idea why I was laughing. Anyway, there is one chapter that is serious and not funny, and it is called Why I Love My Mom, and it was actually probably my favorite chapter. It covers the tragedy that occurred on September 11th, 2001. Now, Jost's mother is the doctor for the fire department in New York. In fact, he very proudly tells readers that she is the first female medical chief for the FDNY and the longest serving chief of any department in New York City history. So she was actually there as soon as the first tower was attacked. And then there, of course, when the second tower did collapse, and then going forward was very involved in everything that happened on 9/11 and over the next days, weeks, months, helping firefighters, working hard to make sure they got the care that they needed, saving lives. She sounds like a rock star superhero, and you can tell reading this, listening to this, that he is just so proud of his mom. And as I mentioned, this was probably my favorite chapter in the book. Either that chapter or this one towards the end where he becomes a host for a gaggle of botfly larvae. But you will have to read the book to find out what happens there. So It's a very quick read or listen, depending on how you want to approach it. I highly recommend it if you want a laugh. Thanks for joining me for this book review of A Very Punchable Face by Colin Jost.